Since the beginning of 2024, the Ukrainian Defense Forces have disabled 3,179 Russian tanks. Taking into account that a tank battalion normally has 31 tanks, Ukrainian defenders have actually destroyed 102 Russian tank battalions in 10 months, according to the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. The day of May 12th, which was called Tanker Day for the Russian army, was particularly successful for the Ukrainian military. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 31 Russian tanks, an entire battalion, were destroyed that day. Losses of this magnitude could cost Russia's budget $9 billion, according to estimates based on average world prices for armored vehicles. $9 billion, for example, is about 16 annual budgets of the city of Chelyabinsk, which has the worst environmental situation in Russia. At the same time, instead of solving internal social problems, the leadership of Russia continues to throw huge sums of money into the war, the statement says. In October, the Russian army lost more equipment than in any other month since the retreat from the Kharkiv region in October 2022, according to the Oryx project. In total, the Russians lost 695 weapons, including armored vehicles, airplanes, helicopters, and other equipment that was destroyed, damaged, abandoned, or captured by Ukrainian forces. Over the past 24 hours, Russia lost 1,260 soldiers, 2 air defense systems, and more than 40 armored combat vehicles at the front. The Siversk direction is heating up. Recently, the 10th Brigade repelled a powerful Russian assault. This time, they teamed up with the 3rd Border Detachment. The Russian failed attack resulted in the loss of 4 BMPs and more than 20 assault forces. Russian forces are making incremental advances in Ukraine, but each gain comes at a massive cost. Their strategy has turned into a brutal meat grinder, with waves of poorly trained and minimally equipped troops being thrown into relentless assaults. These tactics lead to staggering casualties, as Ukrainian defenders hold strong positions, backed by precision artillery and drone strikes. Russian troops push forward only to face heavy losses, raising questions about the sustainability of their approach. Despite minor territorial gains, the human cost is mounting, revealing a strategy that sacrifices lives for inches on the battlefield. Russian forces have advanced in several areas along a 20-kilometer-wide front in the southern Donetsk region. This direction is their priority, according to the UK Ministry of Defense. Russian forces have taken control of several small settlements and advanced up to 9 kilometers in some areas over the past week. British intelligence reports that these gains are a result of Russia securing Vuhledar in early October 2024. In the southern Donetsk region, Russian forces have captured the town of Hirnik and claim to have taken Kurakivka. About 15 kilometers southeast of Pokrovsk, Russia has captured Selidov, which likely further enables Russia to threaten the logistical hub at Pokrovsk. Russia continues to prioritize the southern Donetsk front lines, maintaining favorable force ratios in this sector, which partly explains the increased pace of Russian advances. Despite heavy personnel losses, Russia continues to recruit in high numbers to sustain its operations in southern Ukraine, the statement reads. The rapid pace of the Russian army's offensive has led, according to the Oryx project, to Russia losing more armored vehicles, planes, helicopters, and other equipment in October than in any other month since October 2022, when Russian forces retreated from the Kharkiv region. According to Bloomberg, the Russian army has been gaining momentum in its advance in eastern Ukraine, capturing 200 square kilometers last week, the most in a single week this year. Since August 6th, Russia has captured 1,146 square kilometers of Ukrainian territory, approximately 25% more than in the first 7 months of the year. On the Pokrovsky front, soldiers of the 425th Separate Assault Brigade Skala successfully engaged disoriented Russian troops. Coordinated efforts of aerial reconnaissance and artillery eliminated several small groups. This is what we mean when we talk about Russian losses. They simply don't care about human life. There's no sophistication or strategic military planning, just a World War II-style meat grinder with expendable soldiers. Putin met with head of North Korea's foreign ministry in the Kremlin. Participants of the Axis of Evil shook hands for a very long time. There have been reports that North Korea receives space technologies, money as soldiers' salaries, and food from Russia in exchange for sending their troops to fight on Russia's side. Experts also say that this way, North Korea aims to secure Russia fighting on its side in case it goes to war. Attention, Finland. Finland has always lived at our expense. Governor of St. Petersburg. This is one of their new favorite narratives.
Сегодня мы открываем выставку вражеской техники, которую наши воины подбили и захватили на полях специальной военной операции. Вот из 22 этих машин смерти, всего-навсего 3 украинского производства. Остальные все это американцы, Канада, Европа и даже Финляндия, наши соседи, которые, в общем-то, всегда жили за наш счет.
Today, there is wet snow with rain in many Ukrainian regions. The temperature at night gets below 0. It is already snowing in Kharkiv. The heating is not on in several cities. Ukraine is getting ready to face the hardest winter in its history. There may be no electricity in Ukraine for 20 hours a day in winter if Russia strikes the critical energy system and the weather is cold. As of today, blackouts are most probable for 8 to 14 hours a day. Ukrainians are expecting a very harsh winter. I don't know if the people in their apartments will be able to survive the prolonged heating and power cuts in severe cold weather. Russia is doing everything to make Ukrainians flee their country. Putin, on repeat, again claims readiness for negotiations with Ukraine. He states that Russia was ready and even conducted talks at the start of the invasion, agreeing on a mutually acceptable treaty. Meanwhile, head of the Ukrainian presidential office, Andriy Yermak, says talks can only begin if the February 24, 2022 line is restored.
As for Ukraine, we certainly appreciate the sincere desire of our partners to facilitate a peaceful resolution of the current situation. I have repeatedly said that Russia is not only ready for negotiations, but also conducted these negotiations at a certain stage at the very beginning of this conflict. And even a mutually acceptable agreement was developed.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.